Hello YouTubers! In this video, I will be teaching you all how to draw Disgust from Disney and Pixar's Inside Out. So get yourselves a piece of paper, get a nice pencil, let's begin. I'm just using basic printer paper, nothing real unique, and I'm using the simple pencil that pretty much anyone uses in school or other things. And to start off, we start by drawing what is basically not a perfect circle, it's basically like it's a little flat on the sides and on the top. Just like that. And then you draw a rectangle or maybe a little square for her neck. And then what you're going to draw here is a little square shape for her body. And then right here, right at the bottom, you're going to draw a really big triangle for her dress. Then you're going to draw these triangles. These are going to be her legs. Then you put these little curves for her legs, for her feet. Then you're going to put some circles for her shoulders and for her elbows. And then for this arm, she's going to be like wrapping her arm on her hip. While this one, she's going to be like in some weird gesture. And then for her head, we got to put the center line so that we know where the eyes will go. That's the line that goes across. And then a line that's slightly curved so that we know where the middle of her face will be. Okay, so we got that. Now we are going to throw in her eyes. Her eyes are these half oval shapes. Except this one will be a little slightly bigger. That's one half oval. And then right at the top, on top of both eyes, you're gonna draw you're gonna thicken that line. That's gonna be like the top end of her eyelash. And then at the end of both eyes, she's going to have like these 4 teardrop shaped eyelashes that stick out. And they are small on both ends while it gets a little big in the middle. And it goes like this. 1, 2, that's the middle one. Then here's the last small one. Like I said, it goes from small to the big to the middle, then small again. And then we repeat a similar process on this side. Here's a small one. A slightly more like a medium one. A big one. And then a slightly smaller one. Okay. Now, before we get to the rest of her face, we should draw the basic zigzag lines of her hair. So we got that. Then we're going to draw the big curve that goes over her head. And we also need to draw like the basic shapes that surround her head. Okay, so we got that. Now we need to draw this end of her eyelash, some forehead lines, and then right here you're going to draw, her eyebrow is going to be a little low, and it's going to be shaped like this. And then right up here you can put like an eyelid. Okay, so we got those shapes in. Now we need to draw her eyes. And her eyes are like these half circles. Well, basically what we're drawing here is the iris. So those are the irises. Put the black circles on the inside for the pupils of her eyes. And then you put the small circles inside those black parts of the eyes for the highlights. And then you use the side of your pencil to color them in black. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to draw her nose, which is just basically like a stretched upside down U, like that. And then before we get to the other details, we can draw or beef up the lower side of her face. So we have that. Now we need to, maybe we could go ahead and draw the rest of her hair. So here's one end of the top. Here's the other end of her hair. Here's this end. As you can see on this side, her hair gets smaller and has a little less detail. Then at this top end, you are going to make kind of a starts off with this stretched and kind of funky upside down U shape. Or when you start down here, it becomes more of an S shape. Okay, now that we got these basic parts of her hair, let's go ahead and draw her mouth. She's basically you're gonna draw this upside down, it's more like an M shape or a seagull flying forward. And then she's got lips, so you just have to draw these crescent moon shapes. So we have that. Now it's time to draw the handkerchief that's on her neck. So you're going to draw this kind of backwards G or 9 shape. And then make this curve shape followed by another more like a backwards S shape. And then make that curve all the way like this. Then right here, you're going to make a point, small here. And then right here, you can connect. Then you can put these little details in her hair. All right. Before we get to the rest of her hair, we need to draw her body. So you're going to start with her shoulder. So here's her curve. She's wearing like a sleeveless top of her dress. Then here's her bicep. And then, like I said before, her arm's going to be like wrapping around her waist. Then here's her elbow. Then here's her other elbow that's like wrapping, that's like covering her hand, just like that. You don't have to worry about the details on this hand. And then to top off her shirt of her dress, we need to draw this V shape for her neck. Here's the other side of her shirt. And then here's her shoulder. Here's her bicep. Here's her bicep. And then we have to draw her arm. Then here's this is her pinky. Her thumb is like hidden on this side. All right, so we got our hands. Now to finish, before we get to the rest of her body, we need to draw the rest of her hair. So you're going to draw this point with a detail inside, then a C shape, followed by these curves, another point, that point, and then you can just draw these shapes to finish off her hair. Then if you want, you can also get the underside of this side of her hair. All right, Now all we got to do is draw her dress. So you're going to put a curve on this side. And then for this side, don't start at the bottom of her elbow. Instead, go above it. Then you're going to draw this curve down here. And if you remember, then we draw the folds on her dress. It's basically these squares. One of them is going to be bigger. Here's the lower end. And then right here, you're going to draw a small triangle, a skinny one, just like that. So that covers her dress. Now we're almost done. All we have to do is draw her legs and her feet. So you can start with this curve. We're going to do the left leg first. Here's the curve here. The pant sleeve. Now she's wearing these dress shoes. They're not high heels. So we start with this small S shape, followed by a curve, same S shape again, and then a triangle shape, just like that. And now for the other foot, we just need to draw a triangle, a curve for the pant sleeve, here's the top end of her shoe, here's the front end, and a small triangle for the heel. And there you have it. That is Disgust from Disney and Pixar's Inside Out. Hope y'all had fun. Please make sure to like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.